Can you hear us good? Can you see us good? Let us know.
I can't see you, chat, because I'm going to be playing this video game.
I will make sure to relay any questions you guys may have. Let us know. We got Will in here. We got Super Happy Fun. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way, Tommy. This is awesome.
Oh, thanks for having me. I did not know I was going to be on camera, so I'm wearing this, which I actually hate wearing because it smashes my ears, and I look stupid. So
I don't think you look stupid. That's like
that's very
standard.
nice of you. That's very nice of you. Yeah,
That's standard gamer attire right there. Just
it is,
giant
but
headphones.
honestly, I feel like I don't create enough content to be wearing something like this.
Alina's
Um,
camera froze.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Let's see if we can fix this real quick. But yeah, so while I'm working with this, we're going to be streaming Super Meat Boy Forever. I'm super excited to play this game with you and have the chat ask you some questions, and this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm terrible at playing and talking, so yeah, it might look like I'm really terrible at this game, but I assure you I'm not. Should I just
Ooh.
go ahead and start or
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right, let's play this game. Now, the playthroughs I do, I watch all the cutscenes, so this isn't a speed run
Perfect.
because we worked really hard on cutscenes on the whole game overall, but yeah, we pride ourselves on our cutscenes.
Cutscenes look great.
Yeah, they were when we started making the game, I was like I was really like, man, I just want to go kind of all out with everything and just like really like do as much as I can, like really kind of like up the game when it comes to like production quality and stuff.
Yeah, the game is just beautiful.
Yeah, this is the work of several artists. Our main artist, Lala, it's kind of a funny story. So like in 2017, when we like started working on this full time, I needed to hire an artist because I can't draw. And I put out feelers to a bunch of people, and Lala was recommended to me by a mutual friend. And I had everybody give like art tests, right? And I framed it as what what does a new Meat Boy game look like? And like I got a everybody that did the art like tests was really like really diverse kind of like looks and everything. But Lala gave me 5, so I was like, "You're hired." She's superhuman. I don't understand it. I don't understand how she creates stuff and lives life. Like I have no idea because like everything, and you'll see this in the art book. Yeah, this is me. You'll see this in the art book that we're putting out in the collector's edition. Like, whenever I would ask her for, like, hey, we need an enemy, like, no joke, she would give me, like, a PSD with, like, 20 iterations of, like, a mushroom.
Wow.
It's so nuts. Like, our art book right now, I was, like, we're going through it right now and piecing everything together, but I think it's like 200 pages at this point of
Wow.
just like tons and tons of stuff. Uh, our lead animator Paul has been putting it together, and he's like, so full disclosure, I don't know anything about art books because I'm not an artist and I don't like collect art books or anything like that. They're interesting, but Paul loves them, so he's been going through and like making basically his dream art book with all of our art, and it's nuts. I think people are really gonna like it.
Wow, that is awesome. I'm sure there's some happy people in the chat to hear that art book's going to be so robust.
Yeah, yeah. Robust is an understatement. We'll probably have to cut some from it. Yeah, I was writing the forward today, like just writing everything. I'm like, uh, please enjoy our art book. I'm pretty sure Limited Run is mad at how big it is, but they'll get over it.
Oh no, we love big art books over at Limited Run.
Great. Well, I definitely have your number then.
Perfect. Yeah, chat, if you guys have any questions, I'll be pulling some of them. I don't know if we can answer them all, but go ahead and ask away. I'm super excited to be streaming with you. I remember first, kind of seeing the Meat Boy journey a long time ago in the indie game documentary.
Oh God. That was that was filmed like how long ago? 11 years?
That's what I was thinking.
11 years at this point?
The game came out in what, 2012? I mean, the documentary.
Yeah, the documentary was 2012. That's when it was at Sundance and everything. And then, it was 2012 it came out. The game came out in 2010. And yeah, it's been a weird 10 years. it's kind of crazy.
Just a wild journey. I mean, it's so crazy. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat has seen the documentary, but I just feel like so much has changed since then, and Meat Boy's been on a wild ride, I feel like, in you as well.
Yeah, it's been strange. You never imagine this kind of stuff, when that documentary is being filmed. I don't know. I was just some dude. And now people know me, and that's weird. That's a weird thing I wasn't expecting. And then 10 years of just kind of riding the Meat Boy gravy train, so to speak. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I feel very fortunate.
That is awesome. People are recommending that doc in the chat. I have a question from JD Inverse. He's asking, has the rise of speedrunning influenced the way that you've made the way that you've created games, basically?
I would say it's not so much influenced it, because the best speedruns are the games that you would have never thought to speedrun. Ocarina of Time speedruns are insane. And it's because of all the things they find. The only thing it made me do when making this game and planning other games is speedrunners are the people that play it the most, and you want to make their time the most comfortable. So you kind of think of stuff I mean, everybody does stuff that's skip cutscenes or whatever, but you think of they're gonna want a speed run timer. We want to make sure the load times are super fast. So from an accessibility point, oh, there's a warp zone. Hold on. From an accessibility point, you're oh yeah, I want to do this, and this, but I never trying to get this. This is me talking and playing.
No, you're doing a great job, actually. I'm thoroughly impressed by this gameplay.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, you hit a warp zone.
There we go.
Oh wait, let me see if I can do this the cheapest way possible.
Okay, yeah, let's see the pro tips
no,
over here.
That's not it. The speedrunners can do it way better than I can. Hold on. You have to jump and punch right before you hit. Okay, I think I got it. Let's see. Because he turns. Oh, he got me anyway. I'll try it one more time. And I'll just.
JD says, I'm very impressed. I have to be in a quiet room just to play the game.
I do too.
We had another question from somebody in the chat, and they asked, how does it feel to have one of the last physical Vita games?
Yeah, that's super weird. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't even realize when you did. So I kind of remember that we did do a Vita version, a physical Vita version, but I didn't think it ever come out. So I thought it was scrapped. So when you announced that, oh hey, we have some for pre-order, I was like, oh, I don't even have one of those.
Well, yeah, we technically didn't release it yet. I mean, it was a whole thing. We Limited Run had signed a bunch of Vita games, right? And when Sony announced that they were stopping production of carts, that kind of like messed up a bunch of our plans. And I'm not sure how it messed with other companies' plans, but there were a lot of games that we'd planned on making much larger runs of. This is one of them, and we just couldn't because they kind of like threw it on us overnight. So we were lucky because some of our partners actually gave us some of the last of their carts because they weren't going to use them, and now here we are. You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super weird. The Vita was pretty cool. Like, it had that Metal Gear collection. I played that a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Metal Gear, and this is a great segue. Metal Gear is like one of my favorite games, so you can see a lot of influences from Metal Gear in this game. Particularly this guy, Big Slugger.
That is awesome.
He basically is like a cross between the Shagohod and Little Slugger. And in the art book, there's a whole bunch of images of that. Because Lala gave me like 10 iterations of it.
That is so cool.
I'll try not to die on this boss, but no promises.
Chat, let us know if you have any more questions.
I didn't die.
Nice. So what is some of your favorite things about our physical editions of Super Meat Boy or Super Meat Boy Forever?
Well, like, art book has been a lot of fun. Like, I know we're doing like the little nugget squishy thing, and I think that'll be pretty neat. Yeah, it was kind of neat. You guys did you did a run in like Best Buy like a couple years ago for the Switch, and that was pretty neat to just like walk into a Best Buy and see it. It was really kind of surreal. Like, we had stuff in retail before, but it was all like, we had like a PC version in like Walmart, and that was like another surreal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the actual like tangible physical aspect of I'm holding this thing that I created is really kind of cool. Paul, lead animator, like absolutely loves it. I think he has every one of Limited Run's Vita games that he put out.
Oh wow.
Like he like collects Vita games, so he's like super big into like just having shelves and shelves and shelves of stuff.
It's very cool.
Because like when you grow up with that stuff, it's like it's part of your like childhood, your heritage in a way.
Yeah.
Like I have like all of my Super Nintendo games still, like all of them. They're in like our guest room on a shelf.
Yeah.
And I just learned the other day that I thought every Ocarina of Time N64 cartridge was gold, and apparently that's not true. And I have one of the gold ones, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, those were pretty rare." And I'm like, I have no idea how I even got that. Like, my parents must have like pre-ordered it or something. Because that was like what, 95, 96.
I do not remember. Yeah, I think those are pretty expensive now too.
Yeah, I have like the original box and everything because I just kept it.
Well, whenever you're ready to retire,
Yeah,
you have a fallback.
Whenever, yeah. Yeah, physical collectibles.
Yeah.
People love that kind of stuff.
It's cool seeing Meat Boy and Meat Boy Forever get a physical version. I mean, like you said, because at the time when this game first came out, it was almost unheard of an indie game getting a physical release.
Oh yeah, like totally. Like it was such a pain to get that one PC version released, and like truth be told, we never got paid for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a pain. I had to fake lawyer them at one point. Which, you know, before we actually had like a real lawyer, I had to fake lawyer, like call and threaten them kind of thing. Oh wait, I forgot how to do this one. Sorry. Yeah, I had like an email that I had that was like Joseph Goodman was the name of our lawyer, and then I just used a whole bunch of legal words, and you'd be surprised how often that works. It sort of worked for the physical one, like they still owe us money, but they weren't going to pay us anything. But I got us like 12 grand, and then I think they went out of business. So it was like, well, okay, well, I don't want to argue with like bankruptcy lawyers at this point.
That is wild. I feel like that's the most indie game dev story of that era like I've ever heard. It's like we didn't get paid for our thing and we had to like pretend to be lawyers and try to get our money.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, like, you write a letter, and what I would do is I found like a law firm that had like a really common name.
Yeah.
And then just made up, just like took their letterhead. Yeah, probably not real smart in the scheme of things, but that company also went out of business, so it's like not a big deal. Like, what are they gonna do?
That is wild.
And they owed me money, so if they really wanted to go to court, probably not gonna be a good thing for them.
I mean, I see nothing wrong with that. They owed you money. Hopefully, you're having a much better time with limited run.
Oh, absolutely. You guys pay.
Yeah.
And that's nice. Yeah. And I don't have to beg for it. So
yeah.
No, it's like limited run has always been like, I remember when you were starting out, and like I was just kind of thinking, man, I hope they don't turn into one of those. And you didn't. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, the physical like Meat Boy with the Dave Raposa cover is I'm really looking forward to seeing that one.
Oh,
it's like,
my God. Everyone on social media is like that cover. And like, well, initially we posted it and we thought that we might get in trouble with the ESRB. I hope they're not listening right now because of those meat cheeks, but but everyone loves it. I mean, that's a must buy just for the cover alone.
Yeah. Dave is, I do not, and if you got to follow him on Twitter. It's at Dave Raposa. Like he's got quite a following, but like how how his brain processes images into that stuff, I don't understand. Like I don't understand it at all. Like like these details on like a dragon that just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, how did you even figure that out? Like,
yeah.
How do you see that? How do you see the world? Because I don't see the world this way.
I love that. It's like when someone creates something you could never have even thought of.
Yeah. Like they see detail that exists in real life, but not in what I'm looking at.
We had a question up in the chat a while ago saying, do you have any favorite moments from the Super Meat Boy franchise?
Favorite moments, like in the game?
I would answer that however you'd like, either in the game or the journey of creating the game.
I mean, there's a lot about the journey that was just like nuts. Like, let me try to think of some weird things. Like, actually, I want to change. I realize I've been classic boy this whole time. I'll be bandaged girl.
Ooh.
Bandaged girl. Yeah, well, like, number one, the movie was pretty surreal. Like, I went to Sundance and attended a premiere in a movie I was in. That's odd, to say the least. That's really odd. As far as like the game, though, one of my favorite moments, and like, it's no secret that we had some issues with like Microsoft back in the day. They are a much better partner now, because I think they realize the appeal of like indie games and stuff. I mean, obviously they do. But one of my favorite moments was at PAX in 2010, right before the game came out. They had demos of the game on like 360s, and people were playing the game, and they had other games there too, because like we weren't the only game coming out for, what was it? I don't remember what it was called. Game Feast was the promotion. They had other games coming out, but people were taking and getting into the menus of the dev kit sorry, and changing it to Super Meat Boy, because Super Meat Boy was on all the dev kits. Because they just like, when they prepare for those shows, they're just like, oh, whatever. I'm being terrible at this. They're like, oh, whatever, we'll just throw them all on there and figure it out later. But it got so bad they actually had to delete Meat Boy off the other dev kits.
Wow.
Because people were just like loading it up and not playing any of the other games. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I mean, we got in trouble with Microsoft a whole bunch because it's like, not for that. They didn't blame us for that or anything, but like the way we would like talk about the game in the press and stuff. I remember there was a thing called the internets, and the internets was like we use something called title storage to put levels up, so we could basically give out free DLC. We had full permission to do this, right? But somebody asked us in an interview about it, and we called it like, oh yeah, we found a loophole where we can give free DLC, and like Microsoft got really, really mad at us for saying that. And it's like everything we did, and every time we got in trouble with Microsoft wasn't because we were trying to do anything. It's just because we were just so like inexperienced and like we would just say whatever, we would just be like, wasn't trying to piss people off,
right.
but like our guy Kevin, I think he still works there. He was always like the one that got yelled at by the high ups, and then he had to come to us and go, guys, next time you do an interview, please don't say you found loopholes in our service to provide free things. Please don't do that. Or like, it was always like, oh, sorry, Kevin. Like every time he would call as it got closer to launch, it always felt like, oh God, what have we done now? What did we do now? It always felt so weird.
That is so great.
But yeah, it was a lot of weird stuff like that. As far as like the game itself, like in the first Meat Boy story, and this goes back to my obsession with Metal Gear. In the first Meat Boy story, like after you try to escape, Brownie shows up and he's like holding up a rock, and it like crushes him. Well, that was basically Gray Fox from Metal Gear. Like he holds up the big giant Metal Gear arm or leg. Yeah, he's like trying to stomp on Snake or whatever. He holds it up. Yeah, I like stuff like that. Like seeing people's reaction to the game was pretty cool. Because it's like you build all this like in a box all by yourself, so you don't know how people are going to react to it.
Right.
And then you see people like really take to it. The first time I showed Meat Boy publicly was in London at a Wii event, and some guy from Konami was playing it, and he played it for like an hour.
Wow.
And like this was at like the top of like some weird hotel where they had all these other games. And he played it and just kept dying over and over on the same thing. And like part of me was like, oh God. But then he's like you guys better put this out quick. We're gonna steal this idea from you. I'm like, well, you could try, but
That is so great. Yeah.
Super
Meat Boy is the original Dark Souls, if you guys don't know.
It kind of is. Like, I mean, it's weird to like say it, but I do think the first one inspired like not only like it wasn't like the first indie game, but I think it was one of the first like really popular indie games that kind of broke mainstream because of the movie. Like there were definitely indie games before then that were more popular and did this, but I think the combination of the two just like brought a whole bunch of eyes to like indie development and stuff, and that's like it's weird to think about stuff like that.
Yeah. And there wasn't I feel like it had a lot of firsts, like you said, because there wasn't even a lot of game documentaries like that out there at the time.
Yeah.
It was really high well, I don't know what the budget was, but it was very high production.
Oh yeah, James and Lisanne, like their budget was not a lot, but they are just insanely talented.
Pros,
like,
yeah.
they won an award at Sundance for editing. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
is so crazy.
I mean, it really gave people like a insider look, and just like you were saying, like having people see the game for the first time. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that for like indie game devs, they don't know how people are necessarily going to react to their game until they show it off at a convention. It's like there's not like huge QA teams and like
Yeah.
it's like it's very fresh.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of the time you go to these things and it's like, yeah, you just like I've had people come up to me like that, they would be like an indie mega booth or something. They'd be like, "Can you come over and play my game?" And I go over and I play it, and like they're just talking about how people have like reacted to it and everything, how they're receptive to it. I'm like, if the game's good, I'm like, and honestly, I haven't played like a bad game at like an indie mega booth or whatever, but it's this weird thing where you second guess yourself like a whole bunch. You're like, oh, I don't think this is good. I don't know, because you do it all in a bubble, and then that gratification of like, hey, this is actually good. It feels pretty great.
Yeah, that is awesome. So, people in the chat, if you go to conventions whenever the world opens back up and it's safe to do so, make sure you demo indie games.
Yeah. And be nice to the developers.
Yeah.
Because they're probably stressed out and tired at a convention. Because conventions they're tough. It's like a tough thing.
Really is. Do you guys have any questions in the chat? I know I probably missed some up there, but the chat's just rolling right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that you're playing this because I don't know if I could. I in fact I know that I couldn't play it as well as you are and hold a conversation.
I'm surprised I'm doing okay because I'm not great at this. There's a reason I'm not a full-time streamer, and it's because I mean, I guess I've played this so much that it's almost like second nature.
There's
Okay.
a question in the chat for you. What is your favorite game of 2021, and what's your favorite game of the past few years?
Ooh. Let's see. 2021. What have I even played in 2021? I guess the only thing I played in 2021 is Death Stranding. I love that.
Of course.
That was great. I love Kojima so much, and the weirder the better. Yeah, I haven't played anything new this year. Truth be told, I actually don't play a whole bunch of games. I have a 3-year-old. Like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, seriously.
I have time for work. I was gonna try to do the shortcut on this, but I don't think I can. Yeah, what have I liked?
Or if you haven't played it,
was the last 10 years? 10 years was the other one?
Yeah, sure, just last few years. And you can always, mention something that has piqued your interest if you haven't played anything that...
Man. I really liked Breath of the Wild. I thought that was great. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 like an insane amount. That was like my stress release game during development of this game. Because I would like... You know how everybody's done this, so no one can judge me, but... in like a Fallout game when you save and then you just slaughter the town. Yeah, that's like I would become evil John Marsden, and evil John Marsden doesn't care about anybody or anything. Evil John Marsden loves carnage, and he loves trains. So both of those things together, yeah, I had a lot of fun with that.
Oh, that is great.
I can't honestly. What else have I played? Oh wait, I played that Spider-Man game. What was it? The not the newest one. The PS4 one. I played that one. That one was really good. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, that was good. I'm a sucker for Spider-Man games, even the bad ones I played, and I kind of enjoyed them a little bit.
I like that one that's like an N64 meme. Where it's just like he falls down and like he falls down and then it shows the lady and the lady just died because she explodes. I haven't played that one, but that one seems pretty good.
Mohan's asking, what's the difference between the original Super Meat Boy and Super Meat Boy Forever?
Well, Forever is hold on. Is Forever is different because it's auto run. Because I did not want to make the exact same game over again. And as like a designer developer, I like the challenge of like creating new things, and like there was nothing that interested me about doing like traditional platformer Meat Boy. So this one is auto run. And you can see that the levels are. I gotta go back in the warp zone. Ah, I missed it. Oh well. Yeah, the levels, like we literally created. So like this level right here, I don't remember what number it is. I think it's like 3-2 or whatever. So 3-2. When you play a level like this 3-3, when you play this, it pulls from a pool of between 70 and 100 levels that we made, and it smashes them all together to make like a random level. But it's still like handcrafted. So yeah, it was just like a big undertaking of like make a whole bunch of levels. So it is different than the first one. I mean, my opinion may be biased, but I like this one as much as the first one. Like I really enjoy it. Like during development, I found myself just like spacing out when I play it, and then look at the clock, and then it was like 4 hours later. And that's not great for me because, like, you know, I have a kid. Not that he was sitting there alone, not being fed, but like, because this stuff usually happens like 4 in the morning when I'm just like all alone making stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So it is different. I mean, it's not everybody's gonna take to it, and that's fine. I do feel like when people give it a chance and don't just go, "Ugh, auto run," that I really feel like you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, I didn't think I was gonna like this because it's auto run, but I did." Like. And going back to the things at conventions, that was what we found, and that was like the reason we didn't go, oh man, this is a terrible mistake, is because we would literally have people come up and stand there and play for like 30 minutes. Like it's like just stand there. We had people like stand there for an hour, come back later, like other days, and play more. So we're like, well, it definitely has something that attracts people to it. There's definitely something to draw people to it, and then we're just like, well, we're doing something right. So
yeah, it's crazy too, because I mean, a lot of games that came out from that era, like especially like, you know, internet-based games, they really didn't age that well, like when you play them in 2020. But I think Super Meat Boy is definitely one of them that came out of that era and still aged really well, really fun to play.
yeah, like it's definitely like I would consider the first one like a classic at this point, because like it's had lots of imitators. Not like we did like anything like super duper original. I think we just made a very, very solid platformer that was difficult. But there's been a lot of people that are like, I mean, you can throw a rock and hit a game that's inspired by you're gonna hit a game that's been inspired by Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that kind of that classic thing that people played like a long time ago, and it just sticks with you. It just remembers.
Yeah.
You just remember it.
God, I don't want to jinx it, but you are doing so good.
I've played this a couple times.
Yeah, right. It's my first or second time playing it.
Yeah,
so.
I've done this a couple times. Yeah, like another reason, like I like playing this. It's kind of hard for me to play the first game still. I'm old. I'm 40 years old. Okay, I'm 40.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. I'm 40. Technically, I'm not a boomer, but I'm sure I'll be called a boomer. But like playing a game on with a controller. I get hand cramps a lot, is basically what I'm saying. I'm old and I get hand cramps. So I like playing this one because it's just 2 buttons. Like when I was developing this, I actually had one of the Xbox, the accessibility controller. And I just had the 2 buttons. And I would just like, I would sit here and like debug with this hand and just play the button with one hand doing this. I really enjoyed that. Our next game isn't 2 buttons, so I donated it to Able Gamers. So I
Very
was like,
nice.
I'm not going to use this anymore, and I'm pretty sure somebody else could use it. But
Uh,
yeah, this one's different, but I I like I honestly think I wouldn't have made it if I didn't think it was a good game, and I definitely wouldn't have spent all of this time on it. We developed this over like 4 years. This was this was not a trivial like let's just make something real quick. It wasn't one of those.
no doubt. Okay, we have a question. What is your favorite LRG release that's not Meat Boy?
Oh jeez, I don't know.
There's literally so many too.
There's like a ton. What have I seen that was really cool? You did. Was it? And if this isn't you, I'm sorry. I'm not. I remember bits and pieces. So I'm like not on social media, but I remember bits and pieces. Did Limited Run do? Did you guys do Doom 2 at one point?
We did do Doom.
It was Doom, and you actually had it on like floppies, right?
Yeah, we did some floppy stuff with Doom, I'm pretty sure.
I think I remember if that wasn't you, I'm sorry. But I remember that, and I remember like, oh, that's pretty cool. But if you didn't do that, then I hated it because I obviously like something else.
Yeah, we did a
I
Doom
thought
too.
you did that.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it, like it came across like something that I saw, and I was like, oh damn, Limited Run really getting it right now. Like they got Doom.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
did we also did a Doom package where we did like the original N64 packaging, you know, it was like
Oh,
the
that's
like
right. I saw that
horizontal.
too.
I
Yeah,
love that so much. That is just so
that's right.
nostalgic.
Did that one actually have a 64 cartridge?
I think that there was a 64 replica cartridge
That's
with one of
awesome.
them. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I love it so much. So good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Jesse has a question. Was Super Meat Boy Forever created with mobile in mind first, or was this always going to be multi-platform?
Okay, so in the beginning, as they say, um, the story of this kind of came up as like we put out Meat Boy in 2010, and like that was like the height of companies like making games for iOS and not doing a good job of it. Like
Yeah.
you would just have like Sonic the Hedgehog, and it would be just like buttons on the screen. But people kept like wanting Meat Boy on mobile, and I'm like, we can't do that. Like, it's not gonna, it's gonna be a terrible representation of the game. Um, but I dismissed it for a while, and then like in a hotel room at GDC in 2011, I was like, I wonder if I could make a Meat Boy that was one button. And I'm just like, you just jump and you can wall jump. So like I had the Meat Boy code, and I made like a little special Meat Boy that would always run, and when he jumped off a wall, he would change direction. And I made like a couple little levels. And I'm like, hey, this could work. So and when we first announced that, I believe in 2012. And I was just I was writing this all in the forward for the art book. We announced it in 2012 as like Super Meat Boy the game, and at that time it was just going to be like small. It was just going to be super tiny, like maybe 3 chapters, like 2 or 3 levels, and we were just going to like put it out. You know, like spend 3 months on it and just put it out. And in 2014, because we didn't do anything until 2014, we like did a 3-month prototype of it and like put it out and showed it at PAX, and people were like, hey, this is pretty cool. Well, then like a whole bunch of stuff happened, and like life happened, and like I got married, moved, blah blah blah, all this stuff. So couldn't work on anything until 2017. And when 2017 rolled around, like it was like you have all this energy, and you like because I was like prevented from working on it from 2014 to 2017, and it just like consumed me. I just kept thinking about it, like, yeah, you can really do a lot with this. You can do a lot with this. So when 2017 rolled around, it was like an explosion of like, I want to do a bunch of stuff. So yes, originally it was just going to be like mobile, and we were probably going to put it on like, you know, Steam or whatever. Like at that time, we weren't going to bother with like consoles or anything. But when 2017 rolled around and like the scope of the game changed to massive instead of small, it was like, yeah, we're just going to put it on everything. So yeah, I mean, like the runner design, like that auto runner formula is like, people are more used to that on mobile, like for sure, and like I can understand that. But I mean, you do have games like Bit Trip Runner. I think is that what was that guy? I know he goes by Aerial Knight, but I don't remember the name of the game. I'm 40. I don't have a great memory.
I don't think I can remember either.
But his game was a runner too, so it wasn't like, oh, because it's a runner we can't put it on anything but mobile. But yeah, it definitely lends itself better to mobile because it's just like, that's what people are used to, that's what people are expecting. So yeah, it wasn't always the plan to put it on everything, but with the scope and size of this game, it made sense to put it on everything. You know, when it comes to mobile, people that are really looking forward to it on mobile are going to be happy because it's a giant game on mobile. So
Right.
the scope remains no matter where it is, and like the production and the quality of the game remains no matter where it is.
You got a question from someone. Did you go to school from game dev from Mythstorm?
Hold on, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, Mythstorm asks if you went to school for game dev.
Oh, I did not. I went to school for computer science, and I went to NC State, and I was at NC State for a year, and I didn't like it. It wasn't a good fit for me. Like, I always tell people, well, for a long time I told people, just don't go to college if you want to be a game dev, but I've refined that after reflecting on it for years. And the new thing is, go to college and have all of the fun of being an irresponsible child, but as an adult. Like, just go and have fun and live your life and become an adult. Don't go to college. Just do something you hate just because you feel like you have to go to college. But yeah, I mean, I went for computer programming, but everything game dev, it's all self-taught. I can't hear the audio on this. Wait, I want to quick kill this guy, so I'm gonna try to quick kill him.
Do it.
I messed up. I'm gonna quick kill him. I want to two-cycle this guy. Ah, I messed it up again. Hold on.
All good. Someone asked a question. I'm gonna change the question up a little bit, but would you want a Super Meat Boy cartoon series?
I would love a Super Meat Boy cartoon series. Yeah, Paul and I have talked about it a lot. Just been like, what would it be? And like, I have like ideas for like a couple episodes of it. It would mainly revolve around everybody getting into situations. Like, it would just be kind of like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really messing up.
I feel like almost like maybe Happy Tree Friends adjacent.
Yeah. Well, I didn't quick kill him because it's very hard to quick kill and talk. I could do that.
That was an old school reference right there too. That was some early internet stuff for you guys.
Yeah, what's that? Newgrounds?
Yeah, right.
Was Newgrounds?
I'm sure it was featured on Newgrounds. I don't know if it premiered on Newgrounds, but
yeah. Yeah, I'd love a Meat Boy Netflix show. I think it'd be hilarious.
yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see that Cuphead animation.
Oh
too.
yeah, they got Wayne Brady. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. Who would have thought?
Yeah. I love this little scene.
Oh, so cute.
It's what kids do. They copy you. Dr. Fetus is a terrible role model. Yeah, we had so much fun doing these like cutscenes.
They're so
was
nice.
I wrote like scripts, like actual like movie scripts for all of these, and then we like boarded. You'll see all this in the art book. Honestly, we have like the actual scripts and then the storyboards and then the finals, like for like tons of like the most in-depth scenes that we have in the game. Um, it was so fun. Again, Metal Gear.
There you go.
Like, I love Metal Gear. Limited Run needs to do Metal Gear.
Oh, we would love to.
Oh, I bet. Good luck trying to pry that from Konami.
Right.
Will Limited Run make a pachinko machine? Is that what they're called? Where you put the little thing and they go plinko? Is it plinko? You put the thing in and it goes dunk, 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 dunk. They redid all the Metal Gear Solid 3 cutscenes for a pachinko
Oh, that's
machine.
awesome.
But not a game.
Right. Well, we started working with Konami, so we can definitely ask for it. That's
Get it. I want tiny figurines of every Metal Gear.
I know.
I want a little Metal Gear Ray, a little Rex, a Shagohod, Sahelanthropus. Let's get that in there. Oh, and then the one from Peace Walker. I don't remember what that one was called.
If we ever did a Metal Gear limited run release, we'd have to consult with you.
Oh God, I would write the foreword for the art book.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up the stream here pretty soon. So if you have any last questions you want to get out there. This cutscene is so cute. I feel like we would be really well with a animated series. I would love to see that.
I would be down if anybody knows anybody at Netflix.
Any execs watching right now?
Yeah, any execs at Netflix watching, hit me up. Like, we don't even really want a lot of money, just control. That's all we want, just control. Oh, I missed it.
Someone asked you what's for dinner.
What's for dinner? Oh, grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken.
Yeah, I have to eat. I have to eat well because of diabetes.
Oh,
Which I guess is like a blessing, because honestly, I'll probably live the exact same amount of time if I didn't have diabetes. You got to take care of yourself. Yeah, it's gonna be chicken and probably like peas and green beans, which is actually pretty good. It doesn't sound great. It's not pizza, which is what I want. I always want pizza. Or like grilled cheese sandwich. I always want that. Can never have that.
actually, I don't know if you knew this, but both of our co-founders have diabetes.
I do. Yeah, I've been trying to get. I've talked to Josh about. Like insulin pumps and stuff. we showed each other our insulin pumps, and I talked to Doug about like his stuff, and we're all diabetes brothers.
Yeah, you guys are just a couple of devs talking about their diabetes.
Talking about diabetes.
Okay, here's one that might be depressing. What's the longest time you've worked on this game without pause?
Without pause?
Yes.
Okay, so this game, because circumstances were way different. Like, first game was like scramble to get it out to make sure that Microsoft, it hits whatever. With this game, I only worked one 26-hour day over 4 years. One entire 26-hour day, and that was the day I was uploading everything to lot check for Nintendo, and it was because I kept messing up the upload. So it wasn't like we gotta get all this done. It was more like, why is this upload working? I'm very tired. So yeah,
Wow.
I was 26 hours, and I mean, it should never be more than like, 8 hours, but I'll take that as a win considering considering the first one. I think the most I ever worked without like in a day, like without sleeping was, I want to say it was like 42 hours. And
Wow.
that was right at the end. Like right at the end of the first one was awful because it was like I would wake up and at that time we were doing like TCR testing, which is like the little certifications that you have to make sure happen, like little things that the console has to do in order to pass certification so you can release a game on a platform. So we were doing that with Microsoft, and I would work all day and I would fix everything that the bug testers found. And it would be like hundreds of things, and I would work and work and work, and I would I would just be exhausted. I would pass out at my desk. And I would sometimes I would make my way to the floor, and sometimes on a really good day I would make my way to the actual to my actual bed. But the cycle was do that for like 20 hours until I just passed out, and then fall asleep but not get really good rest because I'm still thinking about everything, and then wake up and the testers have found 128 bugs. So yeah, like those were bad times. Those were really bad times. Like I once, like right as we were going, like one of the things that had the most bugs was the replay system. Right, and like right at the end we're trying to fix all these bugs, and I'm like, I can't fix all these bugs. And like at this point I think I had already been up for like 20 hours or something. It was nuts. And I'm like, I got to get this done. And so what I did, and this sounds super cool, but this is not cool. I sat in the corner and I closed my eyes for like for like 10 minutes, and I just sort of planned out what the system would be, and I wrote it in one sitting.
Oh,
and
wow.
and I think that wasn't the longest day, but that was like a 36-hour day that time. And I mean, I
Wow.
got it done, but yeah, not I will never do that again. That is not the goal. That is not the dream. That is not to be told as a badge of honor. That is a tale of caution.
Right. That is so rough.
I mean, you got to be proud of your accomplishments, but man, you got to see where you really like can do stuff better.
And how many people were on the team at that time?
It was just me and Edmund.
Yeah.
And then like, well, I mean, like Danny was doing the music and Jordan was doing like sound effects, but they weren't in the day to day.
Yeah.
Like the day to day was me and Edmund at that time was like 100%ing the game multiple times a day because he was also testing.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, I was literally like nonstop programming, like constant. Like Super Meat Boy was from blank C++ project to completed in 18 months. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's, I had barely any like console experience. I had some Xbox 360, but like during that time I was also doing the Wii. I was trying to do the PS3 version in case Microsoft didn't like go for it, like didn't go for our versions, or didn't go for the, like if they didn't want it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 18 months. Yeah, we took our time this time.
Yeah. Do you think that indie game dev is any easier nowadays? I mean, say you didn't have the budget that you do now. Do you think it would have been easier nowadays to make the first Meat Boy game?
I don't know, because like if it's me making the game, like I'm old school programmer. Like I wrote this engine. This isn't like Unity or anything. I wrote every line of code in this with the exception of a couple libraries, but like every line in every version of this game I wrote. So I can't say it would be easier. Um in a lot of ways, it actually might be a little harder because like the playing field is much more broad now. But I think overall for developers, there are so many like really good tools that people can use that are cheap.
Hmm.
And like with that, I mean, you can definitely see it in the quality of games that have come out just in the last like, several years. Like you have a team of like 3 people and like they're using Unity or something and they're doing like all this like insanely nice looking 3D work. And it's like, and the reason is they are unbound by like what they get to focus on what they're good at and not have to learn what they're not good at and not have to like compromise
Yeah.
because like things are doing all the heavy lifting for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like the fun of making a game for me is the tech part. Like it's always been the tech part. Well, and the writing. Like I really liked writing all of the Meat Boy stuff for like I liked writing all the scripts for forever. Oops. Yeah, indie devs have it easy now. You guys just get your Unreal Engine license for free, and then you and your buddies from SCAD that all have 3D modeling degrees. You just make all these weird, amazing things, and you just hit compile on your engine, and it's like, oh yeah, it works.
That's almost how I feel now. I mean, there's even like RPG Maker games that have done pretty well for themselves. Like there's a lot more tools nowadays. I mean, one of the most impressive small team games I've seen is I don't know if you're familiar with Edelweiss. They're a Japanese dev team. It's a 2-man dev team, and they did Sakuna of Rice and Ruin.
Is that the one with the crazy swords?
It,
Is that
it's
crazy swords?
it's like a rice farming sim and also like
Oh, I'm
action
confused.
game. You should check it out. It's crazy. Just a 2-man team did that nowadays, and I feel like I don't think something like that would have been possible back when this
No,
game first came out.
absolutely not. I saw one, and I don't think it's the same one. I want to fight Dr. I don't think it's the same one, but there was I only saw like a couple gifs of it, but it looked a lot like Final Fantasy 15, where the dude has all the swords around him, and like it was like this one, it was like a 3D like beat 'em up kind of thing, and I think it was from like a Chinese developer or something, but it's just him, and this game looks amazing, and it's like this guy's like throwing swords up into the air, and like this other guy is like attacking with like a suit made of swords.
Yeah.
And it looks incredible. I don't know the name of it though, but it looks incredible.
I'm trying to find this game to see if I can see the name of it, but I'm not familiar.
Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the gifs of it.
Do you guys know this game?
Yeah, it's everything I saw
Miramasa
about
Demon's Blade, is that it?
it. Might be.
Let me Google this.
If it's made by like one guy, then yeah, it's like this one guy. My goodness.
Ugh, love these cutscenes.
They are pretty great. Yeah, we're all really proud of this game. Like, it was so much fun to make, and like everything that we did with it is just like, and I didn't even get to show you all the warp zones and everything. They're just so like, there's just so much fun to make it.
Well, I'm super glad that we can be putting out a physical of this game.
Yeah, I hope people dig it.
And you guys can pre-order it right now. Pick it up. And the art book is huge, confirmed here today.
It is huge. It might have to be smaller than than what we want, but if not, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing either way, but the limits of how amazing it'll be will be amazing. So this next cutscene is like, I don't remember how long I think it's like a couple minutes long. Do we have time to like show it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, awesome.
We can show the cutscene and then we'll end it there.
Okay. The end cutscene is my favorite, but it's 7 minutes long.
Hey, if you want to get to it, I'm totally cool with it.
I could show you the end cutscene just in the theater menu.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I love the end cutscene. These two, this one and the next one, were my favorites.
Tap is asking, is this the last LRG Vita game? This will very likely be the last Vita game since there are very limited carts. And Vita carts can't be produced any longer. So if you're trying to get a complete Vita set, I would say this is a must buy.
Can I make sure I get one of those?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If I can get two, I would love to give one to Paul, but if I can only get one, I'll just give mine to Paul.
Yeah, we can. I can definitely talk to Josh about that. I don't see the.
If we can only spare one, that's totally fine because I know Paul would love it.
Cool. Yeah, and we wish we could have done a much bigger run to get the game. It sold out really quick, but unfortunately we are stuck at what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
You have to realize the ridiculousness of because when we were Ridiculon did all the music and they scored everything. So what I would do is I would do videos of me talking over the cutscenes and try to relay like emotional points to them. they really looked forward to those. They really want me to release them.
Oh.
And I might one day, but they're like, at this point she's realizing that death is real because she's only seen her mom and dad that always come back. Like all this crap, like this pretentious crap. But I'm like, it's gotta feel sad.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like explaining all this to like, it's just so ridiculous.
Now it's like I almost want to like rally and push to get that put in our physical version. Please let us release that.
Release the Refenes cut.
Yeah. It will be like behind the scenes DVD commentary.
Behind the scenes, yeah. We actually could probably do an entire DVD of like behind the scenes, like just stuff for the cutscenes.
That would be amazing.
We have so much stuff.
Super Meat Boy Forever director's cut, says Old School.
Yeah. We were gonna like release the whole thing as a DVD and fill in where there are boss battles with more cutscenes, but we were like, let's do something else. I mean, one day we might still do that. But yeah, you work on something for 4 years. The last thing you want to do is more work on it after it's out.
Yeah. Chat is going wild. Everyone wants this.
This is like my directorial debut, actually. all of the Super Meat Boy Forever cutscenes.
Wow.
Yeah, how do you explain to Power Up Audio? Okay, the clock needs to sound like time is breaking, but they nailed it. Like,
right.
That's how good they are. So.
Yeah. The audio's great.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a proper score.
Yeah, it is. Like it's not like it's, and that was the goal. Is like, let's score this. Let's like, let's basically make a small movie in this game. Like that was the goal.
Okay, everyone in the chat asking for a Meat Boy animation. Just everybody tweet at Netflix.
So we have time for the end?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just I'll just go back to, because I have all the cutscenes unlocked. So
Cool. Let's check it
so
out.
yeah, I'll show you all the end of time cutscenes. So, well, it's called Other Side. But yeah, this takes place directly after what just happened. People might know what this is in reference to. Chrono Trigger.
Oh, so good.
I always loved that end of time in Chrono Trigger. It was just like so surreal, so weird.
Andy is asking for a Switch amiibo.
I would do it, but amiibos are ridiculously expensive.
Oh man.
They are, and you have to make so many of them. All right, so this cutscene is the boss. So in all of these levels, in all of the end of time levels, or the other side, end of time is what I called it in code. It's actually called the other side. But as you saw, Dr. Fetus kind of got like sucked into nothingness. Throughout all of this, he's reforming himself. Like when you get to the end, instead of like him popping out and grabbing her with a portal gun, he's like trying to rebuild himself, kind of like Dr. Manhattan. So eventually, like you get to the end and like the boss for the other side, and this is what happens.
I love that. It's like a LSD fever dream.
Yeah. Now you're coming into the boss battle.
Oh.
And this is my favorite part of the score. Builds.
It's so big.
Oh yeah. That was another interesting note to give to Power Up Audio is what does it sound like when a god roars himself into existence? And they got it. They nailed it first time.
That is
and so yeah, you punch him, he dies, and then the end happens. And this is like 7 minutes long, but yeah.
Wow.
Or like 6 minutes, I don't remember. It's long.
Yes, we need animated series. Digital says if you're paying attention to the chat, which I'm reading it out, thanks for the phenomenal game, Tommy.
Oh, thank you. A little note there, she has teeth because at this time when I was writing this, my son started getting his teeth.
Aww.
And when I started writing it, like all this stuff, he didn't have teeth in it. Like, so he got a little teeth.
That is so cute. Oh my god. Who would have thought a character with meat as in like appendages would make you tear up? But here you are.
That was my goal. That was my goal. I like stuff like that. I like emotion. which is weird for a programmer to say. We are emotionless calculators.
Breaking all the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Little nugget. Smirky Trick is asking what kind of meat is Meat Boy.
He's Omni Meat.
Omni Meat, you heard it. And then he asked if he's a beefcake.
I mean, his punches though, man.
I mean,
he punched a god.
Have you seen the cover of the game? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's what he really looks like.
That is wonderful. It's just great animation, and the sound design really does elevate it.
Yeah. It's like the score, the sound effects, everything. It like came together. Like I could not be more proud of this. Like everything about the game I'm like super proud of, but the cutscenes in particular, like having it go from script and like crappy drawings, which are also in the art book, like crappy drawings that I did to like try to explain things, to this is like just mind-blowing.
Wow. So cool. It's so funny just to think, like, how do we age up meat
Right,
characters?
Yeah. And it sounds like I'm just like trying to over promote the art book, but there's a whole section about how we got to that.
Yes, I'm so excited for this art book.
And again, Metal Gear, because Metal Gear. I mean, his name's Solid Squirrel, so like, what do you want? He's got to be dramatic. His revenge drifting away in the wind. He's free. He's free from his revenge at this point. It's so ridiculous.
So good.
This is basically from Metal Gear Solid 3, so there you go.
Yes. The single tier.
Of
yes.
course. You have to have that. And don't ask where he got that pacifier from. That's my favorite part.
Oh.
And there you go.
What a good way to end the stream. That was wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tommy. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad I was able to show the game, and I'm glad I didn't suck too bad at it.
Oh, you did great. Now I'm super glad it wasn't me playing. Well, thank you guys for watching, and you can pick up Super Meat Boy and Super Meat Boy Forever right now on limitedrungames.com. So make sure you get the game, support it, get it. This is classic indie history right here, so you got to pick up the game.
For sure.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well, thank you guys. We're going to end it now. Goodbye.
Bye.